Hello, I'm George Gonzalez, and I'm obsessed with making games. Today, we're going to talk about energy. So, this will help you by the end of the video, regardless of where you're at, you will be able to use Fusion to make an energy system of some kind, whatever it is. I'll show you how I did it in this game, which is, we still don't have a name for it, but it's a card game. It's kind of like a Clash Royale meets Marvel Snap. Okay, so we'll have, hopefully, the deck is already edited. Let me see. Oh, no, it's not. So, I just got to add some cards in here so I can show you. Um, I need to preload the card so I don't have to do this every time. And just there are still things that are not working in here, but I have my other player here. We both try to join the match, and all these. This is a continuation. If you've been following the game creation, I have all the videos. I'm picking this back up, and as you see, we have energy. So let me start with this guy. Oh, 10, 6. I have one. Okay, so I can put this guy here, and it gives me that. And then in here, of this guy, and they don't have anything. They're vanilla cards because we're going to test it. But as you can see, let's see if it's still working. Oh, it's not. So it's not removing. So I still have to add the remove function so that it actually removes this. And this is part of the UI update that I've been doing. But the main thing that we're going to go about today is this energy bar and making sure that it is synced. You see I have 20 seconds left, but both of these were synced as they were going up. And that is the main key, is because that's where the fairness comes from for the game. Okay, if you and that's what we're going to talk about today. I'm going to show you how it ties to the UI. But the main thing is two things you're going to learn today. One is how to create network that, and two, how to use AI and some of the tips that I give with AI. Because essentially, I did some stuff. As you saw, I have a foundation for the game, but now I can use AI to really push forward and do things faster. So I'm going to focus a lot on AI so that you know how to use AI wisely. The harder part is that I have some experience, as you know. Like, I've done multiplayer games, and that is what puts me above I think AI, because AI only goes off documentation. It doesn't have real world experience, and so it's very dumb in some things. So there's so many things, especially in multiplayer games. There's so many things that are unsaid or undocumented that are that you just gain through experience, and each network solution has its own things. Like, I'm not proficient with pun, for example, is photon old code. I'm proficient with fusion, and the more I use it, the more I realize the gotchas and the things to watch out for. And that's why I did the video last week on the regions, because I know that's like a thing that's not documented, but it happens, especially in the US. And like, if Unity, I've tried using netcode, but NGO, I didn't like it, or there's still stuff missing. Like, there's a lot of things that I've been avoiding out of their network solutions. And in the end, I honestly do think, even though I don't like the support that the team at Fusion gives you, I still think is the best solution so far that I found, because of what it gives you. And yeah, so it's easier to understand, and it gives you a lot for very little. And the more you understand, the easier it is to make multiplayer games. And this is an example. Okay, so we're gonna go in first. I'm gonna show you how things work so that you understand. So we have these field layouts, and when you drag a card in here, it'll drop and it'll check a bunch of things. So we're gonna go in here, and you might not be interested in this. I'm just gonna kind of give you the breadcrumbs, and then we're gonna dive deep into the solution. So in here we have the game manager, but see, the network field will check, hey, do we have enough favor? And before this is all done, AI modify my thing. But I'm going to first show you how it's done, and then I'm going to talk to you about AI. But the main thing is that we have the favor in here. So we have a network variable, and it's just a float. So your energy, you can start like that. And then you have, I have when the game starts. So let's go through all the places this thing is networked. And I noticed there's still things that I need to check, like the player's name and stuff that's working. So the main thing with Fusion is that you have to do these in fixed update, or there's a render here, these two. Okay, and then you have to make sure you use runner.delta time, not time, because if you do time, it's gonna go all wonky, right? So and I forgot what it is. See, if you use this, that's bad. That's usually what you use in non-network solutions. Fusion has its own, so that way you are up to date, and it's just a discrepancy. But this will help you make things accurate. And then we have the favor regenerate, which is exactly what I needed. And I'll show you, this comes from AI, but it's basically what I needed to up here. It's just a network float, the regenerate. Okay, so we have the two, and see when the game starts. So we have the start game. if we're using this testing manager. This is just something that I'm using with my friend to figure out the best favor regen rate. And so what we're doing is temporarily like adjusting those at runtime before we play the game, so that way we could try multiple games with different regeneration rates to see what's best. So those are like game settings that we might not have later. If not, it's just default one to one. And then you notice that the favor is whatever the initial favor is, and then we start this thing. This is the game timer. We used to count down like in the previous videos if you saw that, and so this is now super simple. Is that's all we need really for this the favor, and we usually, let me check. Oh, whoops. We're usually like, can you play the card? Well, we return the favor based on which player's which. The player that has state authority is a player that started the game. So that's how I figure out who's who. You can do it however you want. But this allows me to, if you change to the server, like a server hosting the game, you can just grab it from the server instead of doing this. Player one, player two, and say, hey, I'm player one, I need the favor cost, right? So you can do stuff like that. The other thing is, like in here, when I spend favor, I do in here say who the player is, because at this point I don't know who it could be, like that's moving the cards. And then this is just like a spend the favor from a regular drop. This is specifically for moving or making actions that are outside that just draw, like putting a card from your hand is other events. And so we need to know who's doing the event. But as you can see, it's pretty straightforward. So if you have a game, all you need for the energy is make sure that you have in here on fixed update network, you always have this base because in case it needs to do other things. And then you just have this regeneration rate times delta time. And then this is the cap if you want to set a cap. If you want to set a cap, you don't need to do this. But the idea is that you just, this is it, right? And that's your variable, and that's it. It's synced. The main thing with mine, the reason why I'm saying like it's in hindsight is easy to say, oh, well, it's just a few lines of code. Well, let me take you to the player. Hold on. So that you can see how it's tied to the UI. Because you might be like, okay, you gave me the code, but how do you like check, right? How do we anticipate what we need? So we have I believe it's a single player. Let me see, multiplayer. Player client. So the player client shows the UI for the player. And in here, you'll see this is the favor background. We had this slider, which is the same. You can have a slider right now. The next video, I will do a section on how I came up with this slider to mimic the Clash Royale mechanic. But for the sake of testing, you just have this fill value from 0 to 10, right? This is all you need. And if you need to fix that so it fills all the way. But this is all you need. Left to right, min, max, whole numbers or not. If you wanted just whole numbers, then it would do this. But since we want to know, as it fills out. But as you notice, we have different bars. So how do we do this? So we have this network UI, and used to do in here, this, is this a network player? Yeah, so we had before, like I still have the canvas in here. So if we're using this as the segment UI that I made with the eye, we'll look at this in the next video. But let's say I had this was the old one, the slider. And you'll see that it's commented out, but fall back to the old slider. If it's not null, let's do this. But basically what we did is we said, okay, get max favor count. And then, because this will give us the max value of the bar. So if we had a max value of 30, because we changed it for some reason, you could do that, right? Like what if the game mode gives you times 3? And so we can adapt that at runtime. And then the value, the current favor count, and the text. So this is all the text, right? And this is happening on render. So it's constantly updating, like we said. If we wanted to be more accurate, we probably do it on fixed update like the other one, but you don't need to because it's a visual. On visuals, this is fine. You don't need to be more precise or anything. But the idea is that technically we don't need to set this all the time, like constantly. We can just set it at the beginning. But the idea was, this was just to get it working. We have the current favor. How do we know the current favor count? Well, the current favor count is in here, right? Every time if there's a game manager, we get the current favor time. And then we use that to display whatever we need. And so what this gives us is the ability to then, like I use this favor count, and then we had, so the only difference between these two is the way it displays it. And that's how you want to make most of your code, is that you have the section where the code is actually doing the network stuff, and then the code where it's like the UI is actually displayed. So you separate things. So if you want to change the UI, in this case scenario, this was my old code. and this is my new code, is that I have a bunch of stuff in here that's doing other things with that same value. The value is still the same. And so this is like the glue that takes the two. And so I could change, if I wanted to change to NGO, Unity for game objects or whatever, or another, or Normcore or something else, I would then have to redo the game manager, but the UI can stay the same. And so hopefully that gives you an idea of how to structure your code so that you have, and this was just because the network player had like in this scenario, I have like cards, I have the hand. I believe if I move stuff around, let me see. I'm still trying to remember everything that I did with this game because I have my favorite count, the slider, the panel, the canvas. I think this is just, yeah, the player client. Like I don't have hand in here, but maybe I forgot all the stuff that I did from back then because it was last year. But we're coming back and we're slowly rearranging things and making them better. So like I have no idea where it's gonna end up going in the end anyways, but I wanted to show you that. Now let's go to how did I get to this solution? This is like the meat. Let's see, and not discard this. How did we get to where I was? Because I want to give you the tools so that you could do this on your own as well, even not just watching these videos, but things that can help you finish games. So I'm going to give you some tips for staying later and for watching the video. If you like it, definitely like and subscribe. And if you have questions, I take anything. Like you ask me anything like about making games and let's talk about it. And if you want me to help you with your games and game devs, I'm there for as long as I'll have time. Eventually, I think maybe I won't have time and it might not be worth me doing. But as long as I have time, I try to make time for that for people. The AI. I honestly like with this code, it was interesting. Here's my tier list first. ChatGPT is at the lowest. I use it for code that I know it won't mess up, code things that I know I just don't want to type that are long. Like, oh, I need a game manager that has all this stuff, or I need to create this thing, this function or this class that does this and that. Okay. Then Claude, I use Claude when I want more intelligent or smarter answers because it just does better. So what I do is I call them Hail Marys. Kind of like what I do is I'll show you. I did that with this. I was talking to my friend and we were going back and forth about AI, or not AI. We were going over the code. See, this is network favor regeneration. I was going here and let me show less. I was in this scenario and we were like, I don't know how I'm going to fix this. And I was overcomplicating things. And so when I said, okay, let's see if Claude, after I got off the call with my friend who we were designing this game with, I was like, okay, we need to fix this. And these are the things that we need to be able to change the regeneration rate. Like I show you, we had settings. So we need to be able to change it from 0.1 to all the way to 3 if we needed to really fast, really slow. And then so I gave him 3 scripts. I gave him the game manager. So this is my old one, the TCG game manager. And then I showed him the network player, which I showed you. And then this one's the testing manager. This is where we have all our settings. And I can show you what those are. If you want me to do a video on it, I'll do that at some point. Let me show you. So in here we have game settings. So see how it has the ratio. This like changes the power cost of the cards. This changes the match duration, the location timer, and this is the regeneration rate. And I still need to tweak it so it doesn't go so small because it's really tiny. And then max card per location, and this is broken, and locations available. How many? Like 7. I think I need to do the max at 5. So there's things that I need to tweak still on this. But that's essentially what we're doing is we're going to be able to test different scenarios and see what's best for the game. And so we need these to work a certain way. We also want to, the reason why I use Claude, the reason why I'm using network, because a lot of times maybe, I don't know how you're thinking, but what I've seen like a rookie mistake would be to make this a local variable and then sync it, or not even sync it because you don't need to. You start the game and you have energy and he has energy. But the reason why I wanted to sync it is because it's a PvP game. And if someone logs in first or someone is like ahead of the other player, it feels very bad. It doesn't feel fair. And so I didn't want the game to start unfairly and people realizing, oh, if I'm the first player, I'll win every time because I have more energy by a slight bit. Because usually in PvP games, that starts to come across. So those things happen. And so I wanted to say, like, this is the core mechanic. So we need to get it right. And so what I did is I say, hey, like, short clip, this is my game. Here's the scripts. Help me fix it. And it did. And it worked. Like you see here, okay, this is working perfectly. Now we're going to do the UI. But the thing is, when we did the UI, it sucked. I had to do multiple times. And I ended up using Bezier for the UI. And that's why I'm going to do a separate video on the UI to show you how I use that. Because that is the difference of doing something you know you need to change that I can like mitigate. I can see there's not much code to it. I know where it changed versus, okay, I have no idea how to do this UI. And I don't have time to think about it, go back and forth. I hate UI, and so I'm like, can you help me? And so that's where it takes a little bit more back and forth. Things that you don't know usually are harder because you don't know how to explain it. As you can see, it finished. Like, see, it understood that I was doing it wrong. That I was counting down. So that's one thing. The first thing. The other thing is that it noticed, like I showed you, it had the render. Um, in here, it knew to use delta time. When I ask ChatGPT to do stuff like this, it doesn't do any of this stuff. It doesn't do the fixed update. It runs it on update. It runs it on like non-network things. It uses time delta time. It messes up on the most simple things, and I'm just like, it frustrates me. So multiplayer stuff, usually Claude. If the thing I like about Bezy is that Bezy can look at your project, and so it can have more context as to what you're doing wrong or how to set it up. And here it goes. And if I wanted to do documentation, I could write up documentation for it, but I don't need it. So this was great because it saved me the headache. I just, hey, can you do this? It does it. I put it in there. I tested it works. As you can see, I still need to add the function to spending the favor and actually making it work because it's not, so something's disconnected. So when I copy pasted this, it disconnected the functions, or there's somewhere where it's missing a connection. I just have to dig through. And so it's not like it's going to be perfect to the point that you're not going to do anything. You still have to go through the code and say, okay, the thing that you need experience with is debugging. And no matter what, you can't get away from it. Like, you can't just not know how to code. You have to learn to say, okay, you have to have a logical brain for this, or else you're not going to like it, regardless if you're using AI. Because even if you're using AI, you have to say, okay, like, where can it be breaking down? And having the confidence and be okay to take the time to do that. So as you saw, I had a lot of bugs, but I knew what I was testing. I was testing the energy bar, see if it was synced and if it was actually giving me the right amount, and it was. And I know now what's broken. Like, we have the username that's broken. If you go back, you'll see. I also, when I spend the favor or the energy, it doesn't work. But the UI, the initial stuff works. And so that is my video for you, so that you can go back and whatever energy you're using, whether it's a card game, fighting game, shooting game, whatever it is, oftentimes you use energy. And this is how you network it, especially with PvP games, whether it's online or in-game local. You need to make sure that it's accurate and constant and maybe not prone to hacks. And this is a way to do it with Fusion. And this is how I used AI, and how I used AI on, like, as a helper rather than tell me what to do, right? In the next video, we're going to go over specifically with a UI, how I used AI to help me do something I did not know how to do. This I knew how to do, I just didn't want to do it. It helped me kind of flip my mind, so it gives me a different perspective. So there's different ways to use AI. In the next, I'm going to show you how to do something you don't know. So we'll see you in the next video.